Good morning, everyone. Myself, Dr. Nisarg Parikh, and I'm going to present a talk on contralateral radiculopathy after MIS Fulif. Every one of you know that MIS Fulif had been proven technique for indirect decompression, and several studies have described its complication as well as advantages. However, there is paucity of this particular complication, and several papers have described the occurrence and probable etiology and their solution for this particular complication. So, aim of this study was to retrospectively analyze all the patients with this particular complication in our series to define the underlying mechanism of it and thereby infer the possible ways to avoid it. This study was conducted across 3 years and we included 74 patients in the 97 segments. All the patients who required MIS OLIF due to neurogenic claudication, radiological and clinically were included in this study, and any of the patient having any of these signs or symptoms on radiological or clinical assessment were excluded. Usual protocols of OLIF were followed up in this series, and all the patients underwent OLIF in single stage, where fixation and decompression were done in single stage. Clinical assessment was done using modified Magnum criteria, and radiological assessment was done with the help of X-rays and MRIs preoperatively as well as postoperatively. Regular follow-up were taken up at 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, and 1 year. These are the demographic characteristics of our patients. All the perioperative complications were noted. Among them, contralateral radiculopathy was present in 6 patients. The incidence was 8.1%. So this table shows the characteristic of the patients with this particular complication. I am going to discuss them in detail. So this, as per this chart, the etiology of this complication was anklet fracture in one patient. One patient had cage malposition, whereas one patient had nerve root impingement under osteophyte, and 3 patients had nerve root stretching because of larger size of cage. 3 patients were managed conservatively. 3 patients required operative intervention in the form of direct decompression. All the patients were pain-free within 3 months of time. Here in this table, the noteworthy thing is only one patient had neurological deficit. And this patient had partial motor recovery at the follow-up of 3 months. So this is the first patient, 55-year-old female with L4 L5 diseases, where we performed L4 L5 OLIF. In immediate post-operative period, she had right L4 dermatomal pain, which was not relieved with restored to medications. In the post-operative CT scan, in follow-up CT scan, we showed there was presence of fracture of the superior anklet of L5 on the right side. This could have occurred during cage preparation. The COPS elevator, which we usually use to break the opposite annulus, could damage the anklet on opposite side if it is not in the plane and of the anklet, and also the more posterior position was responsible for this particular complication. Here you can see the operative video showing offending fracture fragment. The immediate post-operative picture shows that fracture fragment has been removed completely. The second case of 62-year-old female patient with L4 L5 diseases. This patient post-operatively presented with new onset right-sided radicular pain and EHL weakness of grade 3/5. The post-operative CT scan showed there was presence of an osteophyte over L5 SAP. Due to indirect decompression, there could have impingement of the nerve root underneath in the lateral canal because of the translational correction of the listhesis. This patient was advised surgery. However, we lost the patient to follow up till 3 months. When she come for follow after 3 months, there were no pain symptoms and there was partial motor recovery. The third case is of double level OLIF L34 and L4 L5. There was postoperative right-sided L4 radiculopathy. On the MRI, it showed cage placement was oblique. The possible mechanism could be orthogonal maneuver was improper execution. The patient was managed with direct decompression of the nerve. In another 3 cases, the possible cause of the contralateral radiculopathy could be nerve root stretching due to oversized cage, or during cage preparation, instruments could go onto the opposite side to damage the nerve root directly. Possible ways to avoid this complication can be proper execution of the orthogonal maneuver. The docking is very crucial, which should be at the junction of the anterior one-third and posterior two-third of the disc space. Presence of large osteophyte should be confirmed in preoperative CT scan so that we can avoid the possible impingement while there is translational correction of the lesions and indirectly decompressing the contents. During case preparation, refrain from letting your instruments to go on to the opposite side, and adjacent normal segments disc height should be taken into the reference for deciding cage height to avoid over distraction. So to conclude, OLF is an excellent way to indirect decompression and can achieve excellent to good results clinically and radiologically with low rate of irreversible complications. The pre-operative patient counseling is very important. If there is any chance the indirect decompression is of improper value in greater stenosis. Here, although we assessed this particular complication, because of small sample size, the present results are insufficient to define it precisely. Studies with larger sample size are desirable, and awareness of possibility of this complication is very important.